in North Carolina needs a kidney transplant, and he can get one, but there's one condition. He needs to get vaccinated against COVID first. And since he refuses to do so, it is very likely that he will die. Chad Carswell is the individual here who has a kidney that's functioning at only 4%. So the situation's dire. He needs this transplant. And to be sure, if you need any kind of transplant, you're very, very lucky if you actually have the opportunity to get one. But since there's this whole vaccination issue, he's just refusing to get vaccinated and will not get the kidney. So Carswell acknowledged his condition is a ticking time bomb and said that he's living every day as though it's his last. Still, he will not take a coronavirus vaccine, even if that means losing out on a potentially life-saving transplant. Here's a specific quote from him. He says, "There is not a situation in this world that I'll get a vaccine if I'm lying on my deathbed and they tell me you have a kidney waiting for you if you get this shot. I'll tell them I'll see you on the other side." I don't get it, but I mean, it's his choice, you know? I mean, it's again very difficult to get the organ transplant that you need. He has an opportunity to get it here and he's squandering that opportunity. There are many other people who need a kidney and.
Yeah, so look, I'm tempted to say bye, Felicia, and I won't because he's a real person and he's got a real family, and I feel bad that he's been brainwashed into basically doing a political suicide here. So I'll explain a little bit more what I mean by that, but the reason I'm tempted to say it is because there's a giant line for kidney transplants. So the reason why they're not doing it is because if you get COVID and you don't have the vaccine, you have a 20 to 30% chance of dying in this particular situation. So that is far too high a chance. When the next person is vaccinated, will not have that percentage chance of dying, and so then the kidney will go to better use. You're saving a life either way. In fact, that's why they're worried that it would go to this guy and it wouldn't save his life.
Right.
And so there's a very rational reason. It's not either he gets it or he doesn't, it's the next person gets it most of the time, okay? The specifics of this case is not perfectly clear, but that's how it usually works. And so, but I wanna explain, I get why he's doing it. Cultures create martyrs all the time because of honestly, the human hive mind, right? And
it becomes an identity.
Yes, and so honestly, terrorist groups do this all the time. So whether it was the IRA with the Irish, or it's Al Qaeda, or it's the Sri Lanka Tigers, all of them have the same concept, which is if you die for the cause, you will be a martyr that will be remembered for the ages, and it will be amazing, and your sacrifice will be worth it. And that's basically what he's doing here, because 99% of the doctors say you should take it, it'll save your life. And he's saying, I don't want to save my life because of a political cause that I believe in. It's almost terrorism against himself, which is what suicide bombers do. And so
I feel awful for his family, you know, because I can't even imagine if this was my father, a loved one in my family, it would be incredibly heartbreaking because he's making a decision that means he'll no longer be with us. And hospitals cite policies that require all transplant recipients to get vaccinated because of research that shows such patients are at higher risk of dying from COVID-19. Studies estimate the mortality rate of transplant patients who contract COVID is at about 20 to 30%.
Yeah, that is far too great a risk to take when the next person can get the kidney. So last thing on this, guys, the Aztecs really believed that if you ripped someone's heart out and served it to the gods, it would protect the community. So people would volunteer to have their hearts ripped out of their chest. You can get a human being to do almost anything, things that sound outrageous and not anywhere near true. You just have to convince them and they'll do it. And here's a guy saying he knows he's going to die and he's not taking the vaccine. And if you're a family member, it's gotta be the most heartbreaking thing in the world. But given human history, it is not that uncommon. So It's unfortunate that it's happened here. And if you're in that kind of cult, please snap out of it. You don't have to kill yourself for Tucker Carlson. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.